Hey everybody, Bungzy here with another ultralight review on ultralight backpacking. Today we're talking about Hyperlite Mountain Gear's 2400 Windrider pack. Now, pretty much everything I'm going to lay out for you today applies to the vast majority of Hyperlite's packs, so feel free to extrapolate to the other models as well. The Windrider is a 40-liter pack. It's Hyperlite's smallest multi-day pack. They have several larger volume packs, which all follow the same design, though there are some different exterior pocket configurations with different material choices. But again, they keep to the same central design. So let's jump in. I'm not going to bury the lead this time. If you only have room in your budget or gear closet for one pack, I would say this is the winner. If you have room for two packs, then I would recommend the Windrider as your heavy load pack. Now, this is all assuming your base weight is already dialed in. If not, then I would still recommend this pack, but go for one of their larger capacity models. Now, let's back up a little bit and get into the nitty-gritty on why I love this pack. Number one, it's the most durable DCF pack on the market, in my opinion, hands down. I'll try to show you this in some pics and video. Suffice it to say, if you get your hands on one, you would recognize this instantly. Now, it's worth noting that I am referring to the black model, which is made of a thicker DCF material than the white model, which again, hopefully you can see or even hear in some of these videos. What makes it durable? A couple things. Number one, the material. They use 150 denier DCF material. It's so much more burly than any other DCF pack I've gotten my hands on, and I've gotten my hands on a few. You can feel it. It's not even close. As a point of comparison, let's compare this against the DCF used by Z-Packs in their packs. Z-Packs is a great company. Z-Packs material is durable, but Hyperlite is far more durable. The Z-Packs pack DCF material is made from a 2.92 ounce fabric. Hyperlite, they use a 5 ounce fabric. The same holds true for their mesh. It's more bomb-proof than any other mesh I've seen or felt. The other reason it's more durable is that they don't get overly cute with their design. There are no weak points in their design. Other packs use all kinds of loops, buckles, and cordage in their design. It's all fine as long as nothing goes wrong. Again, not Hyperlite. There are no weak points, no Achilles heel, so to speak, in their structure. They are also generous, maybe even overly generous with their stitching. They clearly subscribe to the better safe than sorry school of construction. This comes at the cost of weight, obviously. Does that mean this pack is heavy? Hell no. But heavier than some other DCF packs? Absolutely. The Windrider in the burlier black in a size medium weighs 32.34 ounces. Now, I believe their various straps are over the top and in fact get in the way. I and many others cut them off. I was able to remove 1.5 ounces with ease. So mine weighs about 31 ounces. As a point of comparison, Z-Pack's DCF Arc Blast weighs a hair over 20 ounces without hip belt pockets and a Y-strap top strap closure or any other add-ons. So the difference is probably around 8 or 9 ounces at the end of the day if you're comparing apples to apples. But as a result, this is one of the few DCF packs you don't have to baby. You don't have to worry about struts, straps, stitches, or tiny little buckles breaking in the field, which is absolutely not something you can say about all ultralight packs. I've had these problems. Now, is that relative weight penalty worth that peace of mind to you? Hell yeah, at least in my mind. And lastly, on durability, its build quality is second to none. No bad stitches. Their quality control is clearly top notch. Moving on. The second reason I love this pack is its support system. I can hear some of you already. Ultralighters, for some reason, love to point out that you don't need a support system. I get these comments regularly. Yeah, if you have a soft-sided pack with a hip belt, you can use your gear to create your own structure. To a degree, you're right, but nothing beats the weight-shifting magic of a pack with a well-designed support system firmly anchored into the hip belt. Now, oddly enough, I wouldn't say this about every pack I've tried with rigid struts. I've tried packs before that make you second guess whether the support is worth the trouble or even there in some cases. Not the Hyperlite packs. There is no missing the benefit of their system. It is so well anchored to the hip belt. I have never experienced anything like it. On a related note, the third reason I love this pack is the comfort of this support system. Besides simply succeeding where others fail in fully transferring the weight off of your shoulders and onto your hips, and I mean fully, this pack is comfortable. Comfortable, in my opinion, for one very particular reason. Their aluminum stays. They don't get enough attention. I don't see anyone else talking about this design feature, not even Hyperlite themselves. I've never seen anything like them. What makes them unique? Take a look. Look how aggressive the bend is in the strut. While this is not a trampoline backpack, the curve is so aggressive and well anchored that you barely feel the pack on your back. Doesn't mean it's not a little sweaty, but you don't have a pack slammed up against your back. This is no board or rod strapped to your back like with many other ultralight rigid support packs. An important footnote though on comfort. Their shoulder straps and hip belt are very comfortable to me, even when really loaded up, but they're not the cushiest straps I've ever felt. Point being, I can imagine that if you're skin and bones, which I'm certainly not, and carrying a heavy load and covering very long distances, this might not be the right pack for you. The padding might not be cushy enough for you. This is just hypothetical, just an educated guess on my part, but I thought it was worth passing on. The fourth reason I love this pack is that it is virtually waterproof. They take great care to tape every seam. I still use a liner, but water isn't coming through this material or these seams. There are plenty of ultralight cottage companies that use waterproof material but do not tape their seams. Why? Well, because it's difficult and time consuming, which makes production more costly. It also adds a bit of weight. Hey, nothing is free, right? I hope you can see in this video how well done these seams are. Moving on, I also love their side pockets. First off, the cut. They are more generous and deeper than most. It allows you to easily keep 2 smart water bottles in one pocket without fear of them slipping out. I also love their netting. It's burlier than burly, as I mentioned earlier. You're not going to rip it, at least not easily, and it's not going to run. Another thing you can cross off your list of worries. Another great feature is their always there wide top closure strap, which comes in super handy if you're carrying a bear can or overstuffed food bag or any other kind of gear on top. It also adjusts on the fly, there when you need it and gone when you don't. Another feature worth mentioning is its dimensions. It's not the only 40 liter pack obviously, but its dimensions are fantastic. It has good length, which is very important for a hip belt supported pack because you're going to wear it lower, but it's not too skinny either. There are obviously countless ways to achieve 40 liters by varying width, height, and depth. I find a lot of the new guys going skinny and tall. Not Hyperlite. Their pack, at least this pack, goes a little wider. As a result, it stays below your shoulders, which is where I like it. It's not only more comfortable when the weight is distributed closer to your hip belt, but call me vain, it looks better. There's not a worse look than the walking backpack look, where all that you can see is 2 legs and a backpack. Anyways, and the design is flexible. You can load it up or you can empty it for a day hike. The dimensions along with the strut system just work for any scenario. Now, what are the negatives? There's always negatives, right? Well, it's not cheap at $300, but it would be unfair to call it overpriced. A lot of time and material and skill went into building each of these packs. It's not a pouch with shoulder straps sewn on, like with some other packs. There's far more going on in the design and build of this pack than what meets the eye. You see this on the exterior and you see this on the interior. A lot more labor went into making this pack than with some other high-end UL packs. Second negative, As I touched on earlier, it has a bunch of unnecessary straps and buckles, in my opinion, that add weight and just get in the way. This is an easy fix. As I mentioned, I trimmed off 1.5 ounces of material with ease, and I could probably keep going from that if I wanted to. One of the things I took off, for instance, is an interior water reservoir netted pouch. I actually saved a picture of all the stuff I trimmed off, so take a look. Another dislike of mine is its front pocket. This is nitpicking, but I wish it was bigger. The netting, though burly, is not very forgiving, so you get what you get. It doesn't stretch out. It won't really stretch to accommodate a lot of gear. I wish it was baggier and or taller. It fits all my stuff, don't get me wrong, but I could use a little more room. One more, they did finally enlarge their hip pockets in the last couple of years, but they could have gone even a little bit bigger if you ask me. And that's it. That's my list of complaints. They do make shoulder strap pocket add-ons if that's something you're looking for. They're a little over-engineered if you ask me, with a padded backing to it, but that's coming from someone who doesn't typically use shoulder pockets. You can, of course, use any brand shoulder pocket. They're pretty universal. You're not locked into using their brand. So, to wrap up, if your base weight is well below 10 pounds and you have a great back, then you don't need this pack. It's overkill. Save some weight and possibly some money by going with an unstructured UL pack. If, however, you anticipate heavier pack hikes or need uncompromising weight transference to your hip belt due to a bad back, and you bring some of your own homegrown padding to the dance, like me, then you can't beat this pack for all the reasons mentioned earlier. In my experience, you're simply not going to find all of these features in any other pack. Well, that's all the time I need, and I hope I gave you something to think about. As always, help me grow the show by hitting like and clicking the Bungzy logo floating on your screen, if you haven't already. And it helps me a ton. Thanks, and I'll catch you on my next ultralight review on ultralight backpacking. See ya.